Welcome to Untangled Politics. I'm your host, Thomas Mitchell, and this week we are going to talk about the just passed American Rescue Plan. In case you don't know, the American Rescue Plan is also known as the COVID Relief Bill. This week it went through the House and it went through the Senate, and as of this recording, it will be signed tomorrow by President Joe Biden. But before we talk about this week, I want to remind everyone to please like, comment, subscribe if you are watching this or you enjoy watching every week on this. It allows me to know that everyone likes this and that what I'm doing is to everyone's liking. And if there is something that you think I should add, talk about, etc., just give me a comment or just let me know that there's something you want to hear about or my take on something, and I would greatly appreciate it. But let's get into this week. So, as I said at the beginning, the COVID relief bill passed by both chambers of the Congress. Now, after many roadblocks that occurred by the Republicans and a debate that lasted over 24 hours, President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package, which would provide millions of Americans with $1,400 direct payments, billions of dollars for vaccine distribution, and funds to help reopen schools and colleges, eventually did pass. The final vote was 50 to 49, with all Republicans voting against the measure and all members of the Senate Democratic caucus supporting it. You may be wondering, 50 to 49, who was the one person that didn't vote? That was actually Senator Dan Sullivan of Alaska. He was not present for the vote. Now, as I stated last week, the bill already passed the House. Then it went to the Senate. The Senate tweaked it a little bit, passed it, and went back to the House, which the House then passed. But in case you're wondering what the final draft of the bill was, it goes as follows. The bill is going to provide most Americans earning up to $75,000 a $1,400 stimulus check. It's also going to extend a $300 weekly federal boost to unemployment benefits all the way through August. It also is going to send $350 billion to state and local governments whose revenue has declined because of COVID 19's impact on their respective economies. It also allocates $130 billion to help fully reopen schools and colleges and allots $30 billion to help renters and landlords weather economic losses. Now, also to add on, it's going to devote $50 billion for small business assistances in all 50 states and its territories of the United States. It's also going to dedicate $160 billion for vaccine development, distribution, and related needs. And finally, the part that I think that not a lot of people are talking about that is going to be so crucial for our improvement moving forward is that the child tax credit has been expanded up to $3,600 per child. So, I want to talk about a few things about this. One, before some people go crazy about this, yes, technically, the stimulus check is lesser than what people thought. Well, some people thought. Some people thought that Joe Biden and the Georgia Democrats were running on the idea that the Senate or the next COVID bill was going to be $2,000 on top of the $600 passed earlier. Now, that's not true. As I've been saying for the past few weeks, I just want to reiterate the whole point of the stimulus checks was to be $2,000. Now, before the two Georgia Senate Democrats was elected, we were able to establish $600 stimulus checks a few months ago, but the Democrats were very keen on still fulfilling their promise of $2,000, hence $1,400 that was just passed. Also, something that is brand new is the fact that a child tax credit has been established. This tax credit means the world for a lot of people. It's $3,600 per child. This is going to help families who are low income or on poverty levels that literally go paycheck by paycheck, sometimes deciding what meal are we having today. Because a lot of the times they only have enough money to provide for a meal, maybe two, but not the allocated three you're supposed to have. With $3,600, it's supposed to help families, especially the ones in need. Now, $1.9 trillion, yes, that's a lot of money. And yes, not a lot of people are going to receive the $1,400 stimulus check. But in my opinion, that money should be for the people who need it, which right here shows to the people who need it. People who have children that are struggling right now. struggling to put meals in front of them, struggling to provide adequate daycare and such while they're trying to get their work their job that they just probably got because they lost their previous job at the beginning of the pandemic. That is what is of importance. What is of importance is the people who need relief, not the people who are very comfortable with jobs that they've luckily been able to sustain this pandemic, but the people who need it to make sure that our children are not starving or going to bed hungry every night. Now, I also want to talk about what happened with the House when they received the final draft from the Senate. The House on Wednesday approved President Biden's sweeping $1.9 trillion back package by, again, a partisan vote of 220 to 211 votes, sending the legislation to the White House and clinching Democrats' first big legislative victory in the Biden era. Now, if you do the math, every single Republican again in the House of Representatives voted against the bill, with one Democrat defecting to vote no. All Democrats besides the one voted for the bill. Then the White House said that they expect to sign it on Friday, with the president addressing the nation of the promises of this bill on Thursday, the day of recording, and talk about the pandemic and help that is on the way. Now, I do want to say something that is bothering me is some Republicans are already trying to make it look like this is a good bill. It's going to help people. Even Senator Wicker said that this is a great bill for small businesses, et cetera, et cetera. Let's all make it really easy right now. Every single Republican incumbent in the legislative branch of the United States of America voted no. They voted no on this bill. This bill has 70% approval rating upon all Americans, Democrat, Independent, Republican, you name it. 70% of people think we need this. And every single Republican in both branches of Congress said no. Make sure you remember this and remember the people who fought for you and brought you to a promising future filled with hope and hopefully an end in sight for this pandemic. Don't forget that. Don't forget the Republican that represents your district or your state that's decided to give you the cold shoulder and look away when you needed it most. Do not forget that. Now, there is one more thing I want to add, and it is non COVID related, but it's something that is near and dear to my heart. And this show may be a little shorter than previous ones, but I was just going to talk about the COVID relief bill, but I really do feel like I need to talk about this part. So, a few weeks ago, I talked about Associate Appellate Judge Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland, in case you don't know, was someone that President Barack Obama in 2016 chose to replace Justice Scalia when he passed away for the Supreme Court. Now, the Republicans controlled the Senate and they did not want to give Merrick Garland an opportunity or a hearing to replace Justice Scalia because an election was coming. They wanted the winner to win that or to have a say in who the Supreme Court justice is. Obviously, we know Donald Trump won that and was replaced, or Justice Scalia was replaced with Neil Gorsuch. Now, a few years later, the Republicans reversed what they said and did it for Amy Coney Barrett. Well, Merrick Garland obviously was stripped from his ability to even have a hearing and to be a Supreme Court justice, someone who is very well equipped for the job. But President Biden decided, you know what? Merrick Garland is a phenomenal servant to the government, and he still deserves a big role in our government. And that is why Merrick Garland was appointed to be our attorney general, the lead or the lead lawyer, as you will say, of the United States government, the lawyer who represents the United States government, not the president, not the Congress, the whole United States government. Now, after much debate and hearings and people trying to stall the hearing because they don't like Merrick Garland, Merrick Garland on Wednesday was able to be sent as our next attorney general by a vote of 70 to 30 in the Senate. Now, today, I believe on the day of recording this Thursday, Merrick Garland will swear in as our next attorney general and rightfully have a job that he so is much qualified for. He was robbed from a seat from the Supreme Court justice. This is almost as better or almost as good, if not better, than being a Supreme Court justice, because he is someone who is very fair and very much someone who fights for the rights and protections and justice and equality for all Americans. So, him being nominated and appointed with the successful nomination and being voted in by the Senate to be our next Attorney General is truly a great overarching uh not I wouldn't say conclusion because I don't know what he has plans for his future, but it's a good chapter to see in Merrick Garland's career where although he didn't get to become our next Supreme Court justice, he will be our next attorney general. And it really does feel great to have someone like him be our attorney general and not someone like Jeff Sessions or Bill Barr, the two attorney generals of Donald J. Trump. Now, that's all I have for this week. As I said, it was going to be a short one. Mainly want to talk about the American Rescue Plan, but thank you for watching. If you liked my video, if you want to see more of this, subscribe and hit that notification bell if you're on YouTube. Follow me on all your streaming services, and I will continue to post content like this every week. And if you have anything to say, just let me know. Thanks.